I believe any conservative or any Republican should not do business in a blue state. They are going to target conservatives. They're going to target anyone who's connected to Trump. It is what these political activist judges do.
This take from Mercedes Schlapp, the wife of alleged sexual harasser and CPAC chairman Matt Schlapp, sums up exactly how conservatives feel about anyone who isn't on their team politically.
When people say it's broken, like those liars who were sitting there in front of Congress, it's broken because they broke it. And they broke it on purpose, and they broke it on purpose cynically because they thought they'd get political gain out of playing up to the Hispanic vote in this country. The great irony, being married to a Hispanic, I can talk about this. The great irony is Hispanics who came to this country legally are more upset than anybody. What's broken is what they broke. And they can unbreak it anytime they want to. They had the legal authority. We went through years and years with the Trump administration. You were sitting in the White House when they did it. And they were able to seal that border better than we had seen in decades. And what did Biden do cynically as soon as he got into the office? He said all those policies were racist. We're not going to build a wall because that's racist. And we're going to let people come into this country. And it got out of control.
This is really a gross rant from Matt Schlapp because he is using white supremacist talking points when referring to immigrants. And he's really hinting at the Great Replacement theory, which, if you don't know, the Great Replacement theory is welcoming immigration policies, particularly those impacting non-white immigrants, are part of a plot designed to undermine or replace the political power and the culture of white people living in Western countries. That is what he is getting at here. And I also hate how he uses, he's like, yeah, since I'm married to a Hispanic, I can say this, like, look at my African-American over there. Look at my wife is Hispanic, so I can say pretty much whatever I want about them. But this is the rhetoric, though, in all seriousness. This is the rhetoric that Trump supporters and conservatives love to hear because it confirms their racist biases.
We don't want to have stop with the border security, not instant border security, because that's just like new immigration, the comprehensive immigration. That's just, keep them in the country, amnesty. We're not interested in any of it. Border security, we're not interested in. We're interested in shutting down the border hard. I mean hard, so not one person can come through, not one, and to start the mass deportations.
MAGA's very own Steve Bannon said the quiet part out loud multiple times on his broadcast, showing exactly how he and the rest of the MAGA world feel about people simply trying to make a better life for themselves and their families.
What that looks like is, and I'm not trying to deride the people, but it looks like locusts are coming because they're going to destroy everything in their path. That couldn't be, civil authority would stop that unless someone in civil authority or the cartels or some combination or the federales are making a ton of money allowing those people to go through. Otherwise, they would be stopped and sent back to Central America.
The Democrats in the United States know about this, that this is a huge industry of multi-billion industry that they're making out of trafficking of people, the human necessity out of the migrants that they are trying to get from one place to another.
Right there on All Hallows Eve in the year of our Lord 2023, you're seeing the end of America. That right there is the end of this nation. End of this nation. End of this nation as the constitutional republic that was bequeathed to our generation. Right there. If you can't stop that, you don't have a nation. That does not mean that there are not other geopolitical things around the world that should have our interests, including Israel and the South China Sea and Taiwan, but they pale in comparison. So no, Nikki Haley, an attack on the United States, or Israel is not an attack on the United States. That is an attack on the United States. Do you have the political will to walk across the street, take the hatchet, and beat down the door? Do we have the political will to stop this and to deport them? This is a existential question for this nation. That in this spending. Look at that right there. Look at that drone shot. That's the end of your country.
Those are flat out disgusting and dehumanizing sentiments from Steve Bannon about migrants and immigrants, and they are actually used as a major political platform for Republicans to galvanize their base. And by no surprise, it's all based on bigotry and racism. He's talking about these people are locusts, for one, and then he says, look at the hordes of people, like look at the drone shot and all those people walking. That's the end of the country. That's the end of America. You're out of your mind, but we know Steve Bannon is What Steve Bannon just did there, which he usually does, is give a great lesson in how to perpetuate white supremacy with those talking points and attitudes. Because what does white supremacy do? It tries to make people believe that individuals who are non-white are less than human. They strip them of any humanity. That's why he calls them locusts in one of the beginning clips. And then what does white supremacy also do? It tries to influence people in believing that white people are the superior race and they are better than everybody. If you're not white, then we're above you and you are a threat to our nation. That's why he says they're going to destroy. They're going to destroy us. You're going to tear down everything that the country has built as we know it. It's the end of America. We're simply trying to have a better life for themselves and their families. You know, insane that is to say, but that's what happens when you have people like Steve Bannon who are very afraid of becoming the minority, of becoming marginalized communities, because they know what they're going to do to us, and they probably think it's a whole lot of projection. It's like, well, if we're going to do this to them, black and brown people, shoot, if we become the minority, they might do it to us. This is why we say Trump and his supporters are white supremacists, or at least sympathetic to the cause of white supremacists, okay? Now, there are ways to combat white supremacy. One of them is getting your white friends and white people in general to talk to the white people about racism and white supremacy and how they are aiding in that sometimes subconsciously or consciously, and that they need to get uncomfortable about these topics because they are the ones who have the power, the privilege to affect some sort of change, right? A lot more change than black and brown people. And then we have to hold our government officials accountable. What does that mean? Calling them up, right, at whatever time of day to let them know our thoughts, or protesting, not making them comfortable whatsoever, making sure their lives are going to get a little hairy, a little sticky, not in terms of, violence or anything like that, but just a whole bunch of inconveniences and areas where they're going to be out of their comfort zone.